Real-time operating systems are used when there are time requirements are very restricted, like missile systems, air traffic control systems, robots. There are two types of real-time, hard and soft. Hard means these operating systems are meant for applications where time constraints are very strict and even the shortest possible delay is not acceptable. If a missile is launched, then it will be hard real-time system. Okay, soft, the operating systems are slightly less restricted, like net banking, like we are processing, we are communicating. So these are soft real-time systems. The advantages are maximum consumption, time, task shifting, memory allocation. But though every advantage, every operating system has some limitations, limited tasks can be done, and the algorithms are various complex because we have to bond with the time. Real times operating systems can be considered as weapon systems, robotics, air traffic control systems. There are so many examples. Now, what are the modes of operating system? Operating system basically works in two modes. One is user mode and one is kernel mode. This is what the important thing is. User mode. Applications, when run, they are known as operating system is working in user mode. If I am working in MS Word, then operating system is in user mode. In user mode, executing code has no ability to direct access hardware or reference memory. Now, what kernel mode is? Core operating system components run in kernel mode. This is what the important thing is, core operating system. The components which are run in kernel mode. Kernel mode is generally reserved for lowest level, that means at machine level, and most trusted functions of operating system because it has to communicate with hardwares. Operating system provides various services too: program execution, IO operations, file system manipulation, communication, error detection, resource allocation, protection accounting. So, as you can see in the diagram, that user is connected with application program by the means of GUI, touch screen, command line, user. These are known as user interfaces. As and when user gives input, system calls executed, they get activated, they take the input. Then program execution, IO execution, these are the services specific to the input. Operating system select one service. If there is an error, it has been detected, protection is also provided, and then it is communicated with the hardware, and as and when output is generated, shifted to the user. Now, OS services which are helpful to the user. First thing is that user interface, as we can see in the diagram. Every user requires to access hardware. So user is going to interact with hardware. No, it is not possible directly, or we can say it is very most complicated and complex things. So what operating system is going to do is it is going to provide an interface between us. Different types of user interfaces. There is command line, as we can type our input by the means of text. Graphics user interface, for example, our mobile applications, Windows interfaces, Windows system, where user can give its input by the means of clicking or selecting or choosing. Batch interfaces, multiple inputs, command and directives to control those commands which are entered into multiple files, and those files are executed simultaneously. Program execution, the system must be able to load a program into memory. As and when it is going to execute it, that program is needed to be loaded into memory, and then it is needed to be run, and after execution its output is required. So all the program execution is requiring operating system services. In case of error detection, error correction, any anomalies, say that there are various hurdles for the program execution, all those which will be managed by operating system. IO operations, definitely it is one of the most important operation. A running program may require IO, which may be involved a file or an IO devices provided by or served by operating system. File system manipulation, programs need to read and write on the files. Directories, create, delete them, search them, append them, access them, modify, edit, update them. All those file operations, process management, permission management has been done by operating system. Communications, process may exchange information on same computer or network. Communications may be via shared memory, through message passing on network. Some of error detections may occur in CPU, hardware problems, hardware execution, resource management. For each type of error, OS take an appropriate action. So there are various services. One of the important services is resource allocation. When multiple users or multiple jobs are running concurrently, resource must be allocated by the means of some sort of algorithm, by the means of some sort of way, so that it can be allocated in fairly manner, accounting to keep record which user and how much it is going to use the resources. Of course, protection and security too. It is of multi-user, network level, user level. There are various levels. Now, one of the most important thing is system call. Programming interface to the services provided by the OS. These system calls are written in C or C++ mostly and accessed by high-level application, but these are programming interfaces which works as an instruction on the behalf of user and executes or interact with the hardware. That means if user is going to give some sort of input, it cannot give directly. Those inputs has been carried out through system calls. These APIs are Windows 32 API for Windows, POSIX API, POSIX API based systems, Unix, Linux, Macintosh, and there are so many, JVM, and system calls. They accept the source file and they convert it into destination file by the means of various system calls, as you can see in the diagram. Sequence to copy the contents of one file to another. What they are going to do: acquire the input file name, write prompt to the screen, accept the input, acquire output file name, write prompt to the screen, accept input, open the input file. If the file does not exist, abort it. Create the output file if file exists, abort. Otherwise, read from input file, write to output file. Until read fails, close the file, and while operation is completing, message to the screen that operation has been done successfully. This is what API system call, or we can say voice relationship. System call is an interface. User mode and kernel mode are operated apart from system call interface. That means user mode to kernel mode, if any operating system going to shift, then system call is working as an intermediator between this. And a short open system call is written here for opening a file. So there are various types of system calls. Process control system call. The create process, the terminate process, the end, abort, load and execute the process, the get process, attribute, set process. These are various type of system calls. These are various smart programs written in C and C++. Wait event, signal event, allocate free memory, dump memory, debugging for determining the bugs, single step execution, logs for managing access to share the data processes. File management system calls. They create the file, delete the file, open the file, close the file, read, write the file. They get the file, they set the file. And these types of system calls has been written in C and C++. There are device management system calls. Some of the names mentioned here: request device, release device, read device, and there are so many others too. Information maintenance system call: get time, date time, set time, get system data, set system data. Some of communication system calls: create, delete communication, send and receive messages, transfer the message, attach the file. Protection: if have to be given, then the system calls will be access to resources, get and set permissions, and so on. These are some of the examples of Windows and Unix system calls. For Windows, create process, exit process, these are process controls. For Unix, fork, exit, wait. File manipulation may create file, read file, write file. Here, open write read, device manipulation, information maintenance, and there is a list you can see here. So these are some sort of Windows and system calls. So it's all over for today. Thank you very much.